About 6 weeks ago, nearly a dozen Panama City police officers surrounded a WJHG reporter at the Millville Cemetery as she was interviewing a local man about something he had discovered back in May. The exposed bones of someone laid to rest inside a damaged, unmarked tomb. Joseph Mandeville took the pictures and reported it to the city, which owns the cemetery, and he posted about it on Facebook. 3 months later, the remains inside the tomb of the unknown were still visible. So on August 11th, reporter Victoria Scott contacted Joseph and asked to interview him at the gravesite. Right when she attached the camera to the tripod, several police units arrived, led by Assistant Police Chief Paul Powell. He parked his white SUV in a manner that blocked the parked cars owned by Joseph and WJHG from backing out.
But more than likely, he pulled up where he could safely park and not block traffic from getting by if there was traffic, or he could park without being worried about parking on a gravesite. So he probably just parked where it was convenient and got out and walked. Right. I'm going to assure you, he had no intentions of blocking anybody in. If somebody needed to leave, I'm sure they could have left.
Several detectives and uniformed officers swiftly approached and interrupted the interview. Assistant Police Chief Powell asked Joseph, "Can we help you?" Joseph was alarmed by the show of force and began recording on his cell phone. He explained what they were doing there. The officers told Joseph that somebody called and said that he was messing with the grave. But when Joseph asked who accused him of messing with the grave, they wouldn't say.
The information we received is not the information or what's going on. So
what information did you receive?
You were out here messing with it, supposedly.
Who said that?
What happened?
They said that I was messing with the grave.
So
just now?
No. But that's how I found it. No, I'm telling you, you stand here.
That's the information that was relayed to us. That's why we're here.
I mean, you see it.
Right. No, I see it. I don't.
Somebody saw it, and
I don't think you're out here messing with it, but we have to come check, right? So that's the only reason why we're here, because people don't pay attention and they blurt whatever comes out of their mouth first, right? So.
I don't know who did that. All I'm trying to do is get
so there was someone from the side of the road who saw something and called you guys?
From the limited information that we received, they weren't sure if somebody was out here deliberately messing with it or whatever the case may be. So they called us. So that's why we came out.
The investigation report states that an unknown passerby reported an unknown person. But that's false for these reasons. 1, Joseph and his wife had been with the reporter at the cemetery conducting an interview. 2, Assistant Police Chief Powell boxed in Joseph's parked car and immediately began questioning him. They knew who Joseph was before they arrived, as you can see on the officer's body camera.
Get Mr. Mandeville's name, somebody just do a information report.
But most importantly, an unknown passerby never reported an unknown person messing with the grave, as the police report states. We know who made the call, and we know who received the call. Police Chief Smith got a call that morning from his boss, Assistant City Manager Jared Jones. The unknown passerby is actually the police chief's boss. You see, that morning, the news reporter called the city's public information officer, asking for an interview at the cemetery. But a news story about neglecting the tomb for 3 months after being notified would make the city look bad. So instead of sending someone to be interviewed, the city sent the police. Now, Assistant City Manager Jared Jones says that when his public information officer told him about the call from WJHG regarding the exposed bones at the cemetery, he called the police chief out of an abundance of caution.
I got a call from Caitlin Lawrence, and she notified me about the exposed bones at the cemetery. And she said, hey, and Bernie, I'll be honest, I can't recall if I knew there was an interview going concurrently or if there was one about to be there. But the information I had at the time was that there was exposed bones. And I said, Caitlin, I really need to notify Chief Smith because I don't know if this is criminal or if this is an illicit burial, if this is actually a grave site. Like, this is, and And Bernie, I'll be honest, first I heard of it on the 11th of August. So as you can see, I kind of rapidly reacted and said, hey, Chief Smith, I just need somebody to go out there and put eyeballs on this.
But that doesn't make any sense for these reasons. One, why would WJHG call the public information officer to report human remains or a body or someone messing with the grave? They would have called the police directly to report suspicious activity. The reporter called the public information officer for an interview. Two, the cops who interrupted the interview never looked for human remains or exposed bones when they arrived. They zeroed in on Joseph. They knew exactly who he was and what car he drove. And they told him that they had received a call that he was messing with the grave. 3, the police report completely contradicts what the police chief and the assistant city manager are now saying.
So, Mr. Thompson, I received the phone call from Jerry.
All of this is very disturbing. The city neglected to fix the damaged tomb for 3 months, but only 20 minutes after the reporter finished the interview with Joseph, the city was there repairing the gravesite.
After speaking to News Channel 7, Panama City's Public Works Department, Quality of Life Department, and other city officials came out on Friday to fix it.
The vault is now sealed, and we're effecting the correct repairs and being as respectful to the individual that's buried there.
You know, the way a city treats its dead says a lot about the city. But much more disturbing is we have a falsified police report pointing to an unknown passerby claiming that Joseph was messing with the grave.
You stand here.
That's the information that was relayed to us. That's why we're here.
I mean, you see it.
Right. No, I see it. I don't.
Somebody saw it and
So nearly a dozen police officers crashed a news interview that would embarrass the city. And this raises an important question. If city leadership and the police would lie on a police report about Joseph and his efforts to bring dignity to the person laid to rest in a damaged grave, what else are they lying about? How many people have been arrested and put in jail because of falsified police reports?